Unfortunately, football season has come to a close. With that, coaches and players want to reminisce on their favorite plays from this year's season.
Favorite play of the season? I've probably got several I want to pick from. One is fourth down play against Mountain Home. Braden Long made a long run. That's a candidate. Farmington game, 3rd and 8, had to have the conversion. Ketterman runs the football, runs over somebody. Those are two that pop out, but probably my favorite is when Caden Luker scored a touchdown against Pea Ridge. Took him 2 times to get in there. He actually scored twice. The first time he scored, they didn't give it to him. So then he went back the second time and scored. It was awesome. That was my favorite play.
When Caden Luker scored his touchdown, first one of his career.
Well, my favorite play, I was always on defense, but whenever I got on offense, my favorite play was Rams down with me at fullback, because who doesn't want a 300-pound fullback lead blocking? But that was my favorite play, and we ran it like 6 times against Wynn. But
my favorite play is normally the ones we score on. Shortly after those, most times I get a water break, so that's what really helps me.
I'm Coach Walker. My favorite play for the season was Talon's first interception against Springdale. So the game was tied 7-all. They're going in on the 23-yard line going in. They run a fake screen pass down the sideline. Talon tracks it down from the far side, makes a great play. Kreiner was in position. He was playing corner on that sideline. Talon comes across, picks it off, turns it about 60 yards, and sets us up to win the game.
Well, there's a couple of them, but the first one to be had to be the opening drive of the second half against the Springdale, when we took 10 minutes off the clock, kicked the field goal with Brody Burge, and we defeated Springdale for the first time since 1962.
My favorite play was when they let Johnny get the ball and ran base down straight up the middle.
So my favorite play this season was any play that Cam Bell made. He used to terrorize me at the City Pool since he's about this big every single summer, so it was awesome to see him terrorize offenses with picks and fumble recoveries. So Cam, good job.
Cameron Bell's first 75-yard touchdown against Alma.
My favorite play of the season was our first defensive play versus Farmington. So Farmington came out in a really crazy formation, and we did an okay job aligning to it, but then they called a timeout because it looked like we knew what we were doing and they weren't going to run that play. And so they went ahead and in our timeout meeting on the field, we prepared for it and just kind of talked out where to align and what to look for, and the kids paid attention. They did exactly what we asked them to, and Farmington actually came back in that same crazy formation, ran a play that we actually talked about in our huddle. We intercepted it, Cameron Bell did, and Cam picked it off. He covered the quarterback out of the backfield. We got a big-time return for like 30 yards, and it set the tone for, beating, I think they're a top 10 team still, and they were ranked number 4 or 5 at that time. So that was a huge, huge play.
My favorite play of the season would have been when we were kicking off. Burge had a really good onside kick, and Tag and Lil Long absolutely destroyed a kid from Pea Ridge, made him do a whole backflip, land on his head.
My favorite play was senior day. Ethan Strode, first game back from a broken arm, drops the snap on punt and runs it and loses 5 yards.
Go Gobs.